Good morning and welcome. It is Quest Television. And yes, my name is Sarah Mowigo. Well, I'm not alone. I'm here with the Honorable Comrade Odomo. Good morning, sir.
Oh yes, fine wine. It's beautiful sitting with you. The only difference is your own wine is undrinkable.
Oh yes, I was waiting for you to say that. But for the listeners at home and the viewers, it is time for the newspaper review on Quest today. And for today, we have 4 tablets to look at. And the first one we will be reviewing this morning is that of Daily Sun. The big story there on Daily Sun says, Fagbemi for AGF, Umahi works, Wike FCT, Badaru defense. And do not forget that you can as well grab yourself a copy of this paper for you to get more information on the headlines that will be taken. Another story from the Daily Sun says, Niger attack, Chief of Army Staff visits troops, charged them to go after bandits, and that is on the page 4 of the Daily Sun. But on page 26 of the Daily Sun, the story you would find there says, Wike joining APC, I will boost our chances in 2027. This is coming from Ganduje. Another story there says, kick on the story say predicts some parties would merge into ruling party. Comrade, what do you have to say about that?
Oh, yes.
Wike is a strong politician. He said he's not leaving his party, according to him.
Yes, I like Wike for one thing. He believes in his cause and he fights the cause to the end. And that is how a man should be. A man should be judged by the words and his actions. His ability to match an action with words make you a man. Yes, I think good.
But Ganduje is saying that if Wike should join APC, it gives them a shot in 2027.
Yes, every politician wants to say that, but that's not a yardstick for winning the elections. Anything could happen between now and 2027.
It's all in the power of the electorate.
Yes, it's not the power of the electorate. Some of them may be disgruntled while he crossed parties. Some of them will be saying that, okay, we like it that way. While some of them will be indifferent. So it may not actually affect it. He may not be able to win every other state. His state is only where he has his power for
exactly.
Yes. And therefore his ministerial appointment, we'll say kudos to him. But I am not in the presidency, neither am I close to the presidency. It will have been a better minister as
infrastructure
or in works.
In works, yeah.
Considering his pedigree in River State.
River State, exactly. But yes, we're still taking headlines from Daily Sun. Says NNPC moves to save Naira, secures $3 billion loan to stabilize currency. You can read more on that on page 2. A kicker underneath the story says Naira appreciates to 890 Naira per dollar at the parallel market. And that's a good one, I think. We're still moving forward. Says versatile varsities, poly COE lecturers migrate abroad through our foreign scholarship. This is coming from TED Fund. Another story here says Niger Sahel Alliance calls for immediate release of President Bazoum. You can find more on that story on page 27. And on page 6 of the Daily Sun, what you will get there says how Nigeria crew members Britain died in Saplet's drilling rig mishap. The kicker on the need there says several others missing as Delta governor describes incident tragic. What do you have to say about that one? Just a few days ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you know, actually the mishap we have in the country are becoming too many. We are beginning to be surprised. I'm wondering what is the cause of all this thing. Is this frustration or I don't understand? And then, in fact, like yesterday we were discussing this thing. We should not leave everything for the federal government. We should on our own to try to do some things. But even in our own trying to do those things, we also need federal government presence to provide us with some social amenities that will make us to be self-independent. You cannot generate power on your own. You cannot generate petroleum products that you need for free movement on your own. So if those things are able to be provided, most of these things, most of these mishaps we talk about should be able to be unavoidable incidents. So, well, it is unfortunate.
All right, on the screen right now, we're seeing the ministerial list. It's just there, and I can see that Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy is Busun Tuani. Minister of State, Environment and Ecological Management, Ishak Salako. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun. And now let me look for that of Wike. What ministerial position he was given. You mentioned it, Federal Capital Territory. I feel like that's like a vacation spot. I don't know.
That's the way I look at it too.
But yes, let's see if we could take 2 more from the Daily Sun before we go ahead to the next paper for review. One of the headlines here says 2023 polls, Nigeria now in their need of healing, rebuilding, says PFN Makinde. You can read more on that on page 6. And the last story that I will take from the Daily Sun says Ogo Tribunal, Appeal Court restores Adebutu PDP's vote buying allegations against Abiodun APC. And now let's run away from the Daily Sun and dive straight to the Punch newspaper. And the big story on the Punch newspaper says ministerial portfolios, oil workers demand results as Tinubu heads petroleum ministry. You can read more on that on page 2. The kicker underneath that story says Umahi clinches works, Badugu budget, Wike FCT, Oyetola transport inauguration for Monday. Manufacturer set agenda for industry minister. NECA says portfolio based on track records. I doubt that. What do you have to say about
it? I don't know why the presidents for the past regimes have always been annexing the petroleum ministry into their own portfolio. I believe the office of the president is so busy that they will not have enough time to start running all over the places for these issues. We should have a complete ministry of petroleum. Let there be a separate body, someone who is in charge, not the presidency. We have it. I think it started changing from the time of Obasanjo or so, when the president is doubles as the Minister of Petroleum. They only put Minister of State there. And you know that man, as far as a Minister of State, you don't have the full power to take some decisions. Exactly. And will the president be chance enough to start looking into all these things? Maybe there is something there that they don't want you and I to know. That's why they don't want that thing out of their purview. Well, the other distribution, like we said earlier on in the other paper we just finished reviewing, I don't think the allocation of these portfolios to these ministers is based on their work. Yes, I don't think track record. That we should not put a round peg in a square hole this time. We have come a long way. Exactly. And I think the president is too knowledgeable in administration than all this. He will have been able to scrutinize in the areas we are good at and they give you that portfolio. If they have given Wike works, we would understand. Yes, then we will know that we have something to do. But in FCT, is going to be controlling the drainages and the excessive hold-ups. Maybe in charge of traffic of the Mr. President when he's going to the office. Because I learned he goes to the office from home. Exactly. Well, yes, moving away from that one, on page 19 of the Punch newspaper, it says federal government tackles forex crisis with $3 billion loan. Atiku knocks Tinubu. I'll take that again. Federal government tackles forex crisis with $3 billion loan. Atiku knocks Tinubu. And on page 20 of the Punch newspaper, Nigerian ends $742 billion oil revenue in 21 years. This is coming from NITE. Another story that says Naira rebounds trade 850 Naira per dollar at parallel markets. You can read more on that on page 10 of the Punch newspaper. Now going down of the paper, yes, let's see the stories we have there. It says crash, army chief deploys more soldiers in Niger, villages flee. Yes, I read the story. I think it was on a Monday morning of an attack, a plane crash and all of that. They were actually going to a rescue mission for the ambushed personnel, and they were also shot down. Unfortunately, most of them were scattered as if they were animals in the forest. Exactly. Villagers who witnessed said more than 13 soldiers were gunned down. Yes. Wow. Yes, it's unfortunate. Unfortunate one there. Tax money that they are wasting. Well, we're still reading the stories here from the Punch paper. Say miscreants terrorize Lagos communities. Government vows clamp down. You can read more on that on page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. And the last story that I can take from the Punch paper this morning says panic in Ibadan, settlement as Mogaji seals 200 houses. More of that on page 28 of the Punch newspaper. And because of time, quickly we would run straight to the Nation's newspaper. And the big story there says key portfolios for Edun, Alake, Oyetola, Fagbemi, Adelabu. You can read that on page 4. Ahead of Monday's inauguration, President assigned duties to minister designate. Well, I can say there are pictures there. That is the main picture for the Nation's newspaper, that of the newly assigned ministers. Well, moving upward of the Nation's newspaper, a story there says Shidoka, PDP will collapse if not reformed. You can read more on that on page 5. A kick on the story says APC growing, says Ganduje. Same Ganduje that wants Wike in APC by 2027. But yes, we're moving away from that. Tight security mounted to prevent attack on railways. I had the one in Itakbe, if I'm not mistaken, was closed down, exactly. The train derailed. Yeah. And Actually, you know, those areas they normally pass through, they are unmanned, they are unsecured.
More like forest and bushes and all of that.
Terribly, it's a very terrible situation. And if there is anything going on there in terms of insecurity, before they will get help,
it might be too late.
Might be. It's always too late. And at the time when I traveled with that travel that route to Abuja, my heart was in my tongue because I didn't know.
You're giving your life. You were prepared already for whatever will come.
I gave my life to Christ immediately.
All right, but the government is saying tight security will be mounted to prevent further attacks on railway. And you can read more on that on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. And on page 8 and 15, what you will find is Ahmed Hassan is Jay's Bank AG MD CEO. How Abdul is raising bar of academic excellence. Well, let's see if we can take further stories from the Nation's paper. And what we have here says NNPCL's $3 billion buffer to strengthen Nigerian stabilized exchange rate. You can read more on that on page 4 of the Nation's newspaper. And a kick underneath the story there says how new move will boost economy by presidency now firms up against dollar. And the last story from the Nation's paper says PDP members protest at inauguration of Osun Council caretaker committees. Commander Dom, any words on that one?
Yes, you said they borrowed how many billions to stabilize the forest industry.
Exactly.
Now, what are they going to do with that money? That's the money that Nigeria has been borrowing for the past 15 years, if I'm not mistaken, have all been plowed into consumption, nothing for production. And what do you think will happen to the economy when you don't have production base, you only have a talk of importation? If they had plowed that money into products that will make us to export and depend less on imports, then we are talking of a better tomorrow. But now we are still sinking deeper. You saw what happened yesterday, some of these social media, that 32 trillion naira was printed and approved. $2 billion were taken as loans without the National Assembly approval. Now where those money went, we don't know. But you and I, despite the fact that we are not aware, we are owing. You and I don't know how much
every Nigerian citizen is owing.
Yes, particularly
has a debt on their head.
Particularly you. I don't know how much you are owing out of that money. So we should actually move away from consumption to production.
More of in-house products than exporting.
The hunger that knows the expiring date does not kill. No matter how the level of your hunger today, they tell you today is Thursday, by Saturday there will be food available. Your spirit will be gingered.
We'll work harder for it.
So if we are borrowing such monies and the presidency or the federal government, even the state government, will not come out and say, okay, this money we have borrowed, we are pushing it into so sector of the economy, like the agriculture, the other assets. By the year 2024, these things will start bringing in money. Nigerians will endure, but we don't even know where we are.
We don't see the money.
We don't see the money. We don't see where they invested them. We don't know who benefited. And we have pushed all these economic sources. That is what I mean, economic sources, the roots and the roots of our money generation. We push them away. You can imagine a country where they will tell you mathematics is compulsory in schools. Even French.
It's compulsory,
French
exactly.
Today. But the crux of the economy, which is the agriculture, is optional.
True. I remember that. That is true.
So if you are saying that agriculture is optional, which means you may not even talk about it at all, how do you feed yourself? We'll continue speaking very beautiful English in the social media, in the televisions, everywhere. But we are hungry. At the end of the day, the hunger will take away the good English.
Well, how do you know I'm hungry? Thank you very
I'm a prophet, you know.
Thank you very much, Comrade Domo. But it is time for us to open up the phone lines to hear from you guys, to fill your pause this morning. So many stories so far, but because of time, this is the number of papers that we can review. But the numbers for you to be a part of the conversation are on your screen. But for those of you listening to us via radio, the numbers are 081 88 888 931. That is 081 88 888 931. You can as well call us on the other line 080 22 931 931. So, Comrade Domo, tell me, while you were explaining, giving your take rather, I just went through the Vanguard paper and a story I saw that says Sanusi to Nigerians: don't allow president, government intimidate you.
Definitely, yes.
What can we really do to prevent our to... Oh, good morning. We have someone on the line. Yes. Please go ahead. Your name and your location. Okay. Please go ahead.
Oil workers demand the thoughts. I think who has the ministry.
Yes.
Yeah, me like the person told the I don't know why they are always kind of when they are like the image of this oil port, I mean, Minister of Petroleum. I know, like, what I said already, but both the Jonathan and I mean, they didn't make a Minister of the business. Do I see that? We didn't see any improvement in this area. If at the business we have a refinery, so I think the 19 should briefing. But those are at the family said, no, we can't just do it, I'm just briefing. What if it had not came at that stage? We have to do that. Let's put the policies for heritage. Then again, there's a helicopter crash, more than 13 soldiers gone down. Now, we are trying to go to Niger, but we have problems in this country. Now, it's threatening food production in North Central and that. We should focus, I think we should not have fighting for crisis and see how we can resolve our the problem. But if all the Nigerians, all of them are collecting money in South go back, if you have to go back, hide them in the North Central, and of course in the North Central and Northwest. All of them will change.
All right, Mr. Henry, would have to let you go. You've got 45 seconds to air your view, so we can give other callers the time and the space for them to reach us. All right, 081-88-888-931. Do to call in and let's have your thoughts in this conversation. Hello, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
Very fine. What's the name and your location?
I'm Aug Newspaper from Muzoro.
Okay, please go ahead. You got 45 seconds.
The office people to Wiki at the Minister of Federal Capital. It's a wrong decision. They should have given me Minister of Petroleum so that the oil producing area will now benefit. We are just like producing, there's nothing on the ground. Especially in Mozambique here. We don't have roads. Everywhere is flooded like a riverine area. And we are all producing here, please. What is the meaning of that? So, I beg, tell your president to reverse. Mr. is already a wealthy man. Why is he struggling for oil money again? Give it to me. That is my thing. Thank you, Lord.
All right, thank you very much.
You've given a tall order.
You know, I should reform the president. It's why Sanusi say do not let yourself be intimidated by the president and government. You also can tell the president. You understand?
No, but I love the guy.
I like that. I like taking charge. You know.
Now we are going to add it to your nomenclature.
All right, yes, we're still taking your calls. Do want to reach us on all social media platforms. If you're having difficulties reaching us by call, is there someone on the line? Hello, good morning. All right, since there's no one there, and that's the wrap. That's the much we can take this morning. But before we say goodbye, a special appreciation to the Vanguard newspaper for sponsoring this program this morning. Thank you for all that you do. We appreciate you. But yes, Comrade Adomo, any last words?
You know, like Sanusi said, that we should not feel intimidated. But be very careful. Not you. When I say be very careful,
Nigerians, exactly.
You cannot lead a battle if you think you look stupid on a horse. Because you cannot protest when you don't have anything to fall back to.
Okay.
So on this note, I think I also tell our fans, bye-bye.
Bye from us. Stay blessed.